We are live. Hey, let's wait for more people to join and then we can resume. Okay. Let me go and share my screen. What is going on today? It is Friday, 2 p.m. And I need to update all you guys on what is going on in the market right now. So let me just share this with y'all. You guys already know what this is right here. Let me go ahead and just go over all of this with you guys. Look at that. Inventory did not change at all from last week. New listings went up a little bit, 7.3%. Sold homes went down 1%. Pending homes are up, 23% from last week. If you look at this chart, it's pretty stable, right? Inventory. Even the blue line, the red line, pretty stable. Now, last month, inventory did go up 5%. New listings are up 96% from last month. Wow. Sold homes are up 45% from last month. Pending homes are also up from last month, 85%. Wow. A lot has increased. But look at this. Same time last year, inventory is down 51%. New listings are down 45%. Sold homes down 58%. Pending homes 18% decrease from last year. So even though last month it seems like everything's kind of going up in all categories, last year you could clearly see inventory is super low this year. And the year to date compared to last year, 51% down from last year, 39% down from last year, 32% down from last year unsold. Pending homes are down 26% year to date from last year. Man, see, inventory still down. Until this goes up, okay? Inventory right here, prices are still going to be pretty crazy. All right. And there's still going to be a lot of people bidding because even though demand is down, inventory is also down. Man, we are in such a weird market right now. Let's go to price per square foot. Pretty stable throughout. Look, right? Looks pretty stable. Last week, barely 1% change in average price per square foot. Last month, compared 0.3, so hasn't changed that much. Last year, 0.6. Oh, that's interesting. Year to date, its average price per square foot is down 6%. Okay. This is actually interesting right here. Let's go look at this. Days on the market, pretty steady. But you see how it's trending down? Yeah, average days on the market did increase from last week. 21 days on average now for a home to go pending once it hits the market. 101% of sellers are still getting what they're asking for. You guys can see that right here from last week. Okay. From last month, yeah, inventory went up a lot. I'm not inventory, days on the market. So 21 days compared to 11 days on average from last month. Okay. But again, okay, like 21 days is still pretty fast, until this goes up to like 3 months or so, then like the market's not going to be shifting anytime soon. Homes are still going pretty fast. 99% of sellers are getting what they're asking for. So as long as you're listing your homes correctly, sellers, you're not gonna have an issue selling your home in this market. Same time last year, it's pretty similar. 21 days on average for a home to go pending, and last year around the same time, 22 days. So not much change, right? So you see how similar this is, and it's been a year already. That's pretty interesting. Last year, 97% of sellers were getting what they're asking for. This year, 99%. So again, if you're pricing it correctly, marketing your home correctly, you should not have a problem selling your home today, sellers. Year to date, compared to last year's year to date, 34 days on average. Last year, 17 days on average. So, yeah, right there. 99% of sellers are getting what they're asking for. Last year, 102% of sellers were getting what they're asking for. So, not that big of a change compared to last year. Let's go with average price for sell and solds. Ooh, look at that. Pretty steady. Pretty steady. Nothing too crazy. Average active price, no change from last week. Sold price, it did go up 3% from last week. Okay, so that's 628,000. Okay, last month, average active price is down, 45%. Average price sold compared to last month is up 4.8%. So, interesting. Okay. Last year, active price is 14% higher compared to last year. Sold is actually also higher than last year. This is what I'm talking about. Okay. Everybody that I'm talking to right now are saying prices are going down, or it should be going down, right, Chia? Because the interest rates are high. Prices should be going down. Look at this. This year, right now, average sold price is 682,000. Last year was 570,000 on average. So that's almost a 20% increase from last year. So if anybody's telling y'all, yeah, prices are way down this year, not in Sacramento, y'all. Not in Sacramento. As you guys could clearly see here. Year to date, active is up 14%. Sold is down 5% year to date. Okay. Now let's go to months worth of inventory. There you go. And right now, well, let's go here. Okay. So right now we got 1.8 month worth of inventory. Compared to last month, it was 2.5 months worth of inventory. Last year, okay, slightly higher than last year, but still a seller's market. Okay, remember this represents 1.8 months worth of inventory. Until this gets to 3 months or higher, there's probably not going to be any shift happening anytime soon in the real estate market. Year to date, compared to last year, oh, it's a lot lower. 1.3 months year to date compared to last year year to date, which is 1.7 last year. And these are the data. Let's go over rates, huh? Let me just look something up real quick. What's taking so long? Oop. Okay, while that's loading up, I do want to show you guys something. Here's what I want to show you guys. Here it is. Do you guys remember this program? This is a Cal HFA Dream for All program. If you guys remember, not too long ago when this program first came out, it was like I think a week and they ran out of funding because there was so many buyers that was trying to take advantage of this Dream for All. If you guys forgot how this program worked, it's basically Cal HFA is giving 20%. Okay, 20% upfront to any first-time home buyer to buy a home. Okay. And this is the requirements right here. Let me just share this with all you guys in a comment in case you guys want to access this yourself. But yeah, this is the eligibility. It must be a first-time home buyer. Okay, occupy the property as a primary residence. So that means no investors, can't rent it out. There you can't have any co-borrowers. Cal HFA borrowers must complete 2 levels of home buying education counseling and obtain a certificate of completion through a eligible home buyer counseling organization. Okay, there's also an income limit, which I am going to show you guys right now as well. Okay, so in California, in Sacramento County, okay, which is where I'm at, as long as you don't make this amount, $225,000. Let me just zoom in real quick. As long as you guys don't make over $225,000 a year, you guys are golden. Okay. You can see it was updated in July of this year. So these are all the county. Again, you guys could go look this up on the site. They will have all of that for you. Okay. The property requirements must be a single family, 1-unit residence, including approved condos or PUDs, guest houses, granny homes, and in-law quarters may be eligible. Okay. Manufactured housing is permitted. Condos must meet the guidelines of the first mortgage. In the case of conflicting guidelines, the lender must follow the more restrictive. So you can't use this again to buy like a duplex, a triplex, or like a fourplex, anything like that. It has to be a 1-unit single family residence. Okay. Condos also okay. Manufactured housing, okay, as long as it's permitted. That's what it's talking about right there. Okay. But yeah, go and check it out. I thought I would share this with all you guys. It is coming back. Okay. So if you look right here, this was updated, okay, like last month. And it says the legislature passed. The Governor Gavin Newsom signed into law the 2023 to 24 state budget, which provides $200 million for the Cal HFA Dream for All Shared Appreciation Loan Program. Cal HFA will continue working with partners in state government and stakeholders to calibrate the program, which may include changes to the program processes, guidelines, and systems. As a result, Cal HFA will provide an update this fall that will include a timeline for applications. So just pay attention. Just get notified by fall if you want to take advantage of this program again, because I know that a lot of you buyers out there, first-time home buyers, did not get the opportunity to pull the trigger on this program because fundings ran out and you couldn't find a home in time. So yeah, this fall they will be giving us an update on when they're going to be taking applications and all that good stuff. All right. Now, how do I feel about this program coming back? Well, as you guys know, we don't have any inventory, right? As you can see right here, we don't have any inventory, y'all, like 1.8 month worth of inventory. So if this program is coming back, then I'm a little worried because there's going to be so much competition. There's going to be so much competition because a lot of buyers are going to be coming back. A lot of buyers are going to be utilizing this because, it's they're giving money away, basically. Not technically free money, because it's a shared appreciation loan. If you guys want to know more about what that means, again, go to the site that I just put on the comment or go watch the video that I made on my YouTube channel. Okay, I talked in depth about how this program works. And so if you guys want to know more, go check that out. But I feel like once this program rolls back out, it's gonna be crazy again in the market here in Sacramento. Because when this first came out, there was already lines of buyers at each homes. And I remember the last time we were at a showing and this program was still going on. In the middle of waiting to look at a home, I kid you guys not, I got a notification from our lender, and she was like, "Hey, they stopped the program. Fundings ran out." And then we're like, "What?" And I was reading it out loud, right? And when I was reading it out loud in the line, all the buyers, it was like, "Did you just say that the Dream for All program ran out of funding?" I'm like, "Yeah, I did." Nosy people. But anyway, so they heard that, and the moment everybody heard that, they just left the line. So everybody in that line was utilizing this program, and they just left the line, and they're like, "Man, I don't even want to look anymore," because the fundings ran out. So what it is in order for you to lock in your application, once you submit an offer on a home, you have to be able to lock in the loan rate. Okay. And then once you do all of that, then that's when you lock in the funding for that particular property. Okay. And if you are still shopping for homes, still trying to identify the property to submit an offer on, then if fundings go out like it did not too long ago, then the same thing's going to happen again. So I think this is going to be, if we don't have more inventory that's going to hit the market, I think this is going to be a crazy time again, because fall, people are still buying. Inventory is low, prices are really high, so I could already imagine when this program comes out, it's gonna be even higher. So like that's how I feel about this program coming back. But some people, they're gonna want to utilize it, and some people may not. But again, if you guys want to know more about this information right here, go to the ChiChi link that I put on the comment section. Okay. All right. One thing else I want to share with y'all is this. Okay. Lisa's not here today, so I'm going to go over the mortgage rates based off of this right now. So these are the mortgage rates, okay? 30-year fix is 7.03% right now. 15 is 6.4. Jumbo loans are 7.12%. And this is conventional, okay? These are conventional. Adjustable rates are at 7.05%. FHA is 6.68%. VA is 6.68%. That is where the mortgage rates are today. Okay, so if you didn't know, now you know. If you guys, for all you buyers out there, again, I always like to say this: listen to your lender, okay, before you lock in a rate, because rates go up every second, every hour. Okay. So like talk to you if the rate seems a little high during the day that you plan on locking in your rate. If your lender says let's wait for a couple days or let's wait for a week because I think the rates might come down a little bit, wait. Okay, I had a client that reached out to me last month on a new build, and they wanted to know if it was a good idea to wait to lock in their rate, but then it was going to be like another 60 days before the home gets built, right? And then the lender basically told them they should probably wait until it gets closer to like 30 days and then lock in. So talk to your lender, get advice from them, and do what they tell you. So that way you could win and you could lock in the best rate for yourself. All right, that's that. What else did I wanted to go over with you guys? There was this one thing I wanted to share. It was, I believe it was this. How is everybody doing on this nice day of a Friday? Anybody have any plans for this weekend? You guys going house shopping? You guys already bought a house? You guys going to the lake? What are you guys doing? If you guys have any questions, also put them in the comment section down below. I would love to answer any questions that you guys want to ask me at this time. Okay. Let's look at some properties, huh? This is what I want to show you guys. Okay. So let's look at homes that came back on the market from 7 days ago. There's about 500 homes that came back on the market. Okay, let's see why. Let's see why. Oh, okay. When it says hold like this, that basically just means they took it off the market. Maybe they were working on the house, remodeling it, whatever, and then it came back. So that's not, it never went in contract. This one went into contract and it just came back. Let's look. So it came on the market beginning of July 20th. It went pending in 12 days. See, it went pending. But the next day it came back on the market. Oh man, that sucks. See, whenever this happens, let me tell you a lot of the reasons why this happens. Sometimes, well, most of the times, the reason why this happens is because a seller puts a home on the market, right? And then offers come in. Then they get really excited about the offers that come in. And sometimes the agents probably didn't vet the buyers correctly. And maybe in this case, they didn't vet the buyer. They just went with the highest, not knowing that maybe that buyer was probably submitting multiple offers on multiple different homes. And when they got accepted for this home, they were excited. But then the next day, they probably found out another home that they submitted an offer on also accepted their offer and they liked that home more. So they cancel on this home right here. That's probably what happened. That's why it came back on the market the next day. Because look, August 1st, it went pending. August 2nd, it came back on the market. So I think that's what happened. And let's see here. When it went pending, they got multiple offers. I don't think they did. Yeah, they probably did not get multiple offers. Otherwise, they would probably stay pending. because normally what happens is if there was multiple offers on this home, they would the agents normally would call all of the backup offers and say, hey, are you guys still interested at this property, because the initial offer that we accepted fell out. They changed their minds and they canceled. So if you're still interested, it's up for grabs again. Maybe there's not any, maybe there was no multiple offers. 599. So 14 days on the market now. Sucks that it's back on the market now, because every buyer is gonna see this now and they're gonna be like, what happened to that house? Like, why did it come back? Is something wrong with the remodel? Because this home looks nice. I mean, look at it. It looks pretty decent. You know, from the pictures at least, right? It looks pretty nice. So coming back on the market, it just automatically makes buyers assume that something's wrong with it, and so it just kills the listing impressions. They should have staged it. It's too empty. Staging a home helps so much. It's like going to a new build. You go in, it's fully staged. The reason why they stage it and spend thousands of dollars staging it, because they want you to go in there and be like, ooh, so nice. That's why they do that. So this home should have done that, because it's so empty. Buyers could walk in and be like, where am I going to put the table? Where am I going to put the sofa, the TV, the dining table? Like, how am I going to lay this out? And it's already messing with their minds as they're walking the property with their agent, So first impression is everything. You don't get a second chance to leave a good impression, good first impression. Let's go to the next house. Why it came back on the market. Okay, property history. Ooh, this one's been on the market for a minute. So it came on the market in January. Wow, been a long time. And then in 47 days, which is March 8th, it went pending. And then something happened, came back on the market. It took a while too. Like it went pending on the 8th of March. Came back on the market towards the end of March. So maybe the buyers did inspections and something happened. There wasn't a agreed negotiations with the sellers and the buyers, and it probably came back on the market because they did inspections, all right, because it took that long. And then it went pending again on April 5th. And then it came back on the market April 7th. Oh man, so that buyer changed his or her mind quick. And then they've just been reducing the price ever since. Look, started off at $295 and then they reduced it to $289 and then $284. And then the listing expired. And then they relisted it again this month. Yeah. So it's been on the market for 180 days. That's sad. That is sad. You guys are probably wondering why I'm sharing all this with you guys. It's because I want you guys to know that if you guys see a home that's back on the market, that doesn't necessarily mean that the home is bad. Okay. If the specs, if the house has everything you need, like the square footage, the yard, the bedroom count, the bath count, the area you're looking for, go look at it. And then, if you like it from there, tell your agent to ask the seller and them if there's any inspection reports or why it came back on the market. Don't just assume that something's wrong with the home, because sometimes if other buyers are looking at this home and they're saying, oh man, something's wrong with that, I don't want to go look at it, that's less competition for you. Okay, there's a little hack right there. Okay, speaking of hacks, a lot of you guys been asking me, how do you find a home that has less competition? Well, you go to a home that's been on the market for a long time. Okay, so like the homes that's back on the market right here, you go look at these, but let's look at these actives, okay? Once it loads up. So if you want to target a home that has less competition, you don't need to overbid or anything like that. See this right here? Your agent's gonna be able to reveal this to you. These are days on the market. That tells you how long these homes been on the market. And just tell them to look at the longest homes on the market. Anything past like 2 weeks or 3 weeks, because right now on average it takes 21 days for a home to go pending, right? So if you know that, because you've been watching these videos, live streams for me, then you should know that it's on average right now. It's taking 21 days for a home to go pending. So you find a home that's been on the market past that amount, right? Like this, it's been 72 days here. 141 days, right? You look at these homes and then you target this. See, so this one's never been pending before, and it's been 91 days on the market, right? So this is a potential. This for sure, right? If this is the area you're looking for, of course, Grass Valley, that is, then you would this home might have potential. But again, in Grass Valley, the days on the market may be 120 days, you know. But basically, any home that is outside the average days on the market means those homes are going to have the least amount of competition. Okay. And there's a lot of those homes out there. Kid you too, like if it's been on the market for that long, something's wrong with the home. Okay. The seller's probably overpriced it. Something's wrong with it. The remodel on it is terrible. The home is pretty bad condition. I showed a home recently and we walked in and we felt dizzy all of a sudden because the foundation wasn't stable or wasn't leveled. It feels it was shifting towards like the right, and as we walked in we just felt like, oh my god, I was dizzy all of a sudden. And then there was some doors that we couldn't close or open because when you were sliding it open and closing it, it was rubbing the floors. It was rubbing the floors, and that just kind of gave a bad impression for my clients. And then we just left it. We left. They weren't interested in submitting an offer because something for sure was wrong with the foundation. And of course, in scenarios like that, when you reach out to the seller's agent and you ask them, hey, you guys got reports, they're gonna say no. Hey, did you know that the flooring's like this? They're gonna be like, really? They're gonna act dumb. They're not gonna claim anything. So it's a he said, she said. So basically, you're gonna have to hire a home inspector to go in there and inspect and find out what's really going on. And then from there, you're out $200-300 on the inspection fees. And after that, depending on how the negotiation goes, you may cancel or they may cancel because there's no agreed upon price or solution. Happens all the time, but it can be avoided if your agent is looking for all those things and asking all those questions ahead. So that way you don't have to invest any funds and inspections or anything like that. All right. So let's look at another one. Why it's back on the market. Ooh, this one. Let's look at this one. It's a $2.5 million home in Granite Bay, 4,200 square foot. It did go pending. Let's see why it went back on the market. Okay, so it came on the market in April. Okay, April for 2.5 mil, 2.4. Went pending 96 days after. Okay. And then, something happened barely a week and it came back on the market. Maybe the buyers had cold feet. 7 days that fast. Hey, let's see. Yeah, they didn't put any notes. But yeah, maybe the buyers had cold feet on this one because it is a hefty price tag. 2.4 on 4.7 acres. Okay. This one came back on the market as well. It's been 94 days on the market. See, so if you're in Sacramento County, this is a home with little competition. Let's find out why it came back on the market. So it was listed in February. Okay. 30 days afterwards, they reduced the price from basically 560 to 555. Okay. And then that was in March. They took it off the market in April. Okay. And then put it back on the market 2 months later. Let me tell you guys something. Sometimes when sellers remove a home from the market, it's a strategy. They do that and then they put it back on the market to hopefully reset the days on the market so that buyers now will get a notification again on their phone from Zillow, Realtor, Redfin sites, and it'll say new home just hit the market, but really it's been on the market all these months. So sometimes removing it off the market and putting it back in triggers that new inventory notifications again. So that's probably what they did, because it went pending. It went pending like a month later, and then it came back on the market like a week later. So yeah, something happened for sure. But we would never know until we call them and find out what really happened. All right. That was fun, huh? There was this video that I wanted to kind of go over with you guys and react to. Kind of like how we did last time with me and Lisa. Let me just look him up real quick. Okay, let me just. Okay, you guys remember this guy, right? He does a lot of good videos, so we're gonna react to him because he's a loan officer. It looks like, or a mortgage broker. Yeah, he's a mortgage broker. So let's look at some of his videos. Okay, let's react to that. Oop, I don't hear anything. Let me turn my sound on. Okay. Can't hear anything. There it is.
Hit nationwide. Eviction moratoriums have ended. If you Google eviction notice, you'll see all these new articles about rental eviction notices on the rise, especially in LA County. Because after the last couple of years, some Americans have accumulated up to 18 months in unpaid rent. And starting this week, landlords have the right to evict their tenants. So landlords are out there now serving up eviction notices to make up their losses. I just want to say my prayers go out.
I feel like this can potentially create more inventory because some of these landlords might be first-time landlords, and they, after going through this, because again, it's been reported they haven't been collecting rent for a while, some of them will go broke, and the fastest way to be able to recoup that lump sum back is sell their home if like they need the fast cash. So I feel like some first-time landlords that don't want to go through this process again or don't want to do landlording no more because of this experience might be selling their homes, and this might be a good thing for the market because now it's going to create more inventory, meaning buyers won't have to compete so much. So what we will see
are to those who are forced to leave their homes, especially those with children. It truly breaks my heart, but we got to focus on the situation at hand. As vacancy rises and people are forced to leave their homes to more affordable living, it should drive down shelter inflation. Additionally, with the burden of student loans and the end of seasonal jobs, the ugly truth the United States economy will finally be revealed by the end of this year. So if you're trying to get out of the rental life and you're in a position to buy a home, here is the nationwide average interest rates. Remember, these rates are just a ballpark. Give your lender a call so you can.
Renters, if you are looking to buy, you know what to do.
Avoid this common mistake when you're buying your next home with an FHA loan. Most home buyers fall out of qualifying because of the 100-mile rule. I had a viewer who wanted to take her current home and turn it into a rental and buy her next home with an FHA loan. They're trying to do this house hack, but she didn't realize the area where she was looking to buy her next home was within 100 miles from her current home, which means she couldn't use the rental income on her current property to help qualify. But she was stubborn. She still wanted to qualify both payments on her own without using the rental income, and unfortunately, she didn't qualify for However, I looked at her assets and I noticed she had a 401k, so I put together a special game plan for her. I suggested she use her 401k to pay off some debt so she has better credit to go with a conventional loan and to put 5% down. With a conventional loan, there's no 100-mile rule. So now she's able to use the rental income on her vacating property.
So that's pros and cons to using conventional or FHA, right? FHA is going to have a lot of strict guidelines, kind of like VA. And so conventional would be that route. And the reason why most people want to use FHA versus conventional is because FHA, again, the rates are a lot more prettier, right? 6.6 versus 7%. So sometimes that 0.6 right here, 0.4% difference is huge for a buyer's payment. So, unfortunately, that prevents a lot of buyers from purchasing the home that they want because it reduces their purchasing power if the payments go up. Because remember, debt to income, right? If the interest rate's higher, your debt's going to be higher. Interest rate's lower, your debt's going to be lower, therefore qualifying for a higher purchasing power.
To help her qualify for her next home. Remember, everyone's situation is unique and not all house hacking strategies work. If you want to help coming up with a game plan,
this is a good house hacking strategy if you guys are planning on building wealth with real estate and buying multiple properties, utilizing like low down payment. Like what in this case, 5% conventional. Most people think you got to use 20% all the time to buy the next property or so forth, or the average buyer or homeowner thinks they need to sell in order to buy because they can't have two loans. That's not true. Okay, so basically he's just trying to say you could utilize 5% conventional to buy your next property if you live in it. Okay, so that means you have to rent out your first home. Pretty cool house hack. You don't need 20% down. Okay, that's a myth.
What the fitch is going on? We may never see interest rates in the 3s or 4% ever again. Fitch, one of America's top 3 credit rating agencies.
Sorry, buyers.
Has downgraded the United States government credit rating system from AAA to AA+. This downgrade caused the 10-year bond to shoot up, and that caused mortgage rates to go up as well. Fitch's rating implies that investors shouldn't trust the American government to pay back its debt. As you know, America makes about $4 trillion a year in collecting taxes, but they spend $6 trillion a year and has about $32 trillion in debt. That's the equivalent of you making $100,000 a year, but spending $300,000 a year, but also owing about $1 million. As we continue to increase our debt without generating more income, America is considered a high risk. With the 10-year bond reacting the way it did this morning, we're probably going to see higher mortgage rates for a longer period of time. But rates will still improve when inflation comes down and the job market breaks. Because of this credit rating issue, we're probably never going to see 3 to 4% interest rates ever again unless that gets fixed. So instead, hope for 5 to 6% interest rates.
Oh man, that's a bummer, huh? I honestly thought that 3 and 4% mortgage rates were gonna come back. I mean, that's what a lot of people was talking about. But then again, if that was to come back, it's with today's inventory, man, it's gonna be bananas in the market because everybody's gonna be buying a home again. Similar to just how the Dream for All program is gonna come back, right? Similar to this. If this comes back and a lot of first-time home buyers are utilizing it, it's gonna kill the inventory again. So, yeah, I don't even know what to say about that. Go to the next one. Is this fun, y'all? Is this fun? Let me know in the comments if you guys like these.
If you need to remove your sibling or buy out your spouse in a divorce so you can keep the house, you might want to try this method that can save you thousands of dollars. Yes, going through a divorce sucks, and dealing with unexpected death and inheritance can be a headache, especially when it comes down on who's going to keep the house. Typically, most people do a cash out refinance.
I recently did I helped a divorce situation too, and yeah, it's not fun. If you are in a situation like that, or you know anybody that's in a situation like that, there has to be so much like trust between, because you as an agent trying to help a couple go through that, you have to communicate. You got to make sure that you're communicating everything to both parties, so that way there's no confusion, there's no words of twisting, all that jazz. But yeah, anyways, if you're buying a home or if you own a home and you're married, man, when you go through all of that, it gets so rough, because then, especially if you hire an attorney, gosh, attorneys want money. Man, they do. Like, they don't want you to do anything to the home, like sell it or anything like that, until they discuss the fees and go over strategy with you on how much you should be taking over, like the assets, all that jazz. So like, yeah, divorce cases are fun. James Fong, it's fun. We back together. What's up, James? We are back together, man.
To buy out the people who are on the house. Thing is, when you do a cash out refinance, it can cost you thousands of dollars. So here's what I did with one of my clients who's going.
Yeah, I once spoke to a client that wanted to do a cash out refinance, right? And she just thought that when you do a cash out refinance, all the equity, you can take it out. And I had to tell her, no, you can only take out, you have to leave like 20% in there in order to take any money out. Some other banks might be willing to give you more, but then the average is like 20% equity has to remain on the house, and you could take out anything under that, right? So the maximum loan to value is 80%. Most banks, okay? Most banks, not all. And she didn't also consider the closing costs for the cash out refinance. She didn't consider none of that. You have to pay all that again. So it's like when you bought the house the first time, right? There's closing costs, there's points that you have to pay the lender to borrow the money to go and buy that home. Same thing when you refinance a home, cash out refinance, you got to pay for a appraisal to go out there and appraise the property. And then when they appraise it, depending on how much the home is valued at, again, you can only take up to 80% of that. So if your loan balance is 60%, then that means you can only take 20% out and leave the remaining 20% on the loan as equity. Okay, so
To the exact situation. He was planning on buying out his ex-wife so he can keep the house for his kids. He was planning on doing a cash out refinance, which would have cost him an extra $7,000 in fees. So instead, I told him to restructure the deal as an equity buyout. Fannie Mae has a loophole where you can do this on a conventional loan. It's the same concept as a cash out
conventional loan. Conventional loan talks about that a lot. If you guys are trying to be savvy buyers or savvy homeowners or investors, conventional is your friend. Nothing against FHA. I love FHA, but with conventional, there's more options.
Finance, but they treat it like a rate and term loan, which means you can pull cash out of your property and pay off the people who are on title. But the cool thing is you don't get hit with additional fees like you would on a cash out refinance, which can add up to thousands of dollars. Instead of the refinance costing him $15,000, it only cost him $8,000 to do the refinance to buy out his wife. So if you're thinking about doing a cash out refinance to buy out a sibling or a spouse, consider doing an equity buyout. If you want to know more about an equity buyout, or if you're in a similar situation, send me a DM. If you need to remove your sibling,
equity buyout.
What to believe, what to believe. Yesterday, a big trucking company, Yellow, laid off 30,000 employees. A sign that the labor market is slowing down. However, our bubble got burst. The ADP report came in hot, actually super hot. They were expecting 190,000 jobs for the month of July. but it came in at 324,000 jobs. But if you look further in the reports, you can see leisure and hospitality brought in 201,000 jobs. Is this just a surge for the summer, or will the job market cool off and unemployment will go up after the season? And of course, after the report, the 10-year bond shot up, signaling the Feds probably are going to hike in the month of September. With all this considered, I don't think we're going to see lower mortgage rates till the end of 2023. So if you're trying to buy a house and refinance sometime next year, here is the nationwide average interest rates.
Interesting jobs. No comment on this video.
Do you want the truth? You can't handle the truth. What's going on, fam? My name is Min Win with What's a Mortgage. Welcome to our channel. Tonight is a very special night. Of course,
I'm not gonna watch it.
The issue is, right, like most people, if you're locked into a low mortgage interest rate on the home that you live in, the chances are you have $100,000, $200,000 worth of equity in that home. You just can't sell it and buy a new one because the mortgage payment on that new home is going to be too much, right? Because now interest rates have gone up. So the key is in order to use the
A lot of people feel like this right now.
equity that you have and buy another property at a reasonable mortgage payment, what you need to do is a home equity line of credit, right? So that home equity line of credit is going to allow you to essentially draw from that property without losing the interest rate you have in your current home. You can then use that as a down payment on a new property, and before moving into that property, rent out your old home. By renting out the old home, that's going to give you additional income to offset the higher mortgage payment on that new one.
Yep, HELOCs. That's what it's called. HELOCs, or home equity line of credit. A lot of investors do this to house hack, like what we were talking about earlier on his other video, house hacking. People take their equity out as a line of credit to put down on a home on their second property, so that way they can buy multiple property. And guess what? They don't just do that once, they do that multiple times, and that's how they're able to own multiple properties at the end of all of this. So if you have equity, I would always encourage you not to sell the home and just take the equity out to buy another home. So that way you can still collect cash flow on that first house by renting it out. If you want to be a landlord. If you don't want to be a landlord because you don't want to go through the eviction issue like that earlier video that we watched, then maybe sell the home and move elsewhere or do something with it. Up to you. Airbnb it. I don't know. Do something with it.
Fail. Another bank failure. Silicon Valley Bank, Signature Bank, First Republic, and now Heartland Tri-State Bank was also announced as a failure. And yesterday, PacWest Bank got bought out by Bank of California because it was failing. And Bank of California had to use the help of two private equity banks to make the purchase. So is it safe to have your money in regional banks during these rate hikes? And the question my audience is probably going to ask, how is this going to affect mortgages? If you have a mortgage with one of these banks, it's okay as long as you make your payments on time. However, this can affect mortgage guidelines. Banks tend to get tighter and stricter when it comes to loaning out money during credit crisis. So if your lender isn't one of these failing banks, here is the nationwide average interest rates. Remember, these rates are just
more banks are closing, it looks like, huh?
Good evening, fam.
The live stream.
Does anyone understand what Jerome Powell said in the last FOMC meeting? All that mumbo jumbo. Who can understand it? Don't worry. Let Uncle Mid break it down for you.
We've covered a lot of ground, and the full effects of our tightening have yet to be felt.
We're doing our best to stop this chaos, but you're just not feeling the pain yet.
Looking ahead, we will continue to take a data-dependent approach in determining the extent of additional policy firming that may be appropriate.
We don't know what we're going to do yet. We're just like you. We need to see the data ourselves before how much heat we need to keep turning up.
Growth in consumer spending appears to have slowed from earlier in the year. Although activity in the housing sector has picked up somewhat, it remains well below levels of a year ago, largely reflecting higher mortgage rates.
Give me a pat on the back. Things are slowing down.
And higher interest rates and slower output growth also appear to be weighing on business fixed investment.
But they're slowing down at a rate where the economy is not crashing.
Over the past 3 months, job gains averaged 244,000 jobs per month, a pace below that seen earlier in the year, but still a strong pace. The unemployment rate remains low at 3.6%.
People still have jobs. No one's losing their jobs. Unless people lose their jobs, inflation won't come down. To sum it up, we don't know what we're doing either. We're data dependent. So as the data comes out and we can see inflation comes down and the job market come down, don't expect for us to stop hiking. Does anyone understand what Jerome Powell said in the last?
That's so crazy, right? Our leaders of this United States of America.
I could be wrong, but I think the housing market might crash. A viewer sent me an article from adamdata.com that says, here's the proof. It says foreclosure activity during the first half of 2023 ticked up above pre-COVID levels.
Oh, this is going to be a good one for all you guys. You guys been asking me about this too, saying that foreclosure is going to be crazy this year.
Reporting we have over 185,000 foreclosure filings, which is above pre-COVID level of 165,000. But really look at the numbers. Look at 2008 compared to 2023. The amount of foreclosure activity isn't even close to when it crashed back then.
Do you guys see that too? 185,000 seems like a lot, right? But look at 08, 1.3 million filings. Woo! Yeah, we're nowhere near that. Sorry, you guys, investors, people that's trying to buy foreclosures. It's not.
So before you send me an article, look at the details. Make sure it actually proves your point. Out of 144 million homes in the United States, that's only 0.12% of homes that filed for foreclosure. And if you look at the article, it takes about 1,000 days to actually foreclose on a property. That means someone can live in the home for over 3 years before the home is actually foreclosed on. So
that's the thing about foreclosures. If you guys are looking to buy a home that is in the foreclosure stages, people can still be living there. That's why when you go to like websites like here, let me just show you guys real quick. That's why when you go to sites like auction.com, because they have a lot of foreclosed homes, right? Let's just say Sacramento, right? See how many homes is in Sacramento. Okay, so let's say you clicked on these, right? These are currently in foreclosure stage. It's scheduled for auction, but that's why when you come here, it'll give you this big bold letter saying occupied. Do not disturb the occupants. Trespassing is a criminal offense, y'all. And look, this is also what they say. Title and liens. Most liens are removed after a foreclosure property sale, but certain liens may remain. I once had this investor bought a house. He flipped it, thinking, man, he got it for a good deal. And then after he fixed it and did all that, he did a title search on it and found out there was a solar lien on it that was $30,000. And he had to pay that off. So guess what? That ate into his cash, his net, and he actually lost money on the deal. So you gotta be prepared for all of this, And of course, majority of these auction homes are cash only. See this? Even conventional financing is not accepted for this property. And the reason why they don't really take loans on auction homes like this is because they don't know the condition of the home, right? They just know that it's going into foreclosure because maybe the owners didn't pay the mortgage. So it's going into foreclosure. So they don't know the conditions of it. And they can't go there because it's a criminal offense to trespass. So they prefer to sell it as is, not fixing anything. Okay, so you got to do your homework when you're buying a home at foreclosure because you might have to evict them after you bought it, or you might have to fix it. And that's why they only want to deal with cash. A lot of people use private financing instead of all cash because private financing is basically a bunch of investors coming together, giving you a lump sum of cash that you can use it to buy. You just got to pay that loan back within a year or 2 or 3. with like a high interest rate of like 10 to 15%. But that's what he was referring to.
So there's not a flood of foreclosure that's going to hit the market and cause the real estate market to crash. So for those of you who are trying to buy because there's not a crash happening, here is the nationwide average interest rates.
Yeah, so there's not a crash happening. Foreclosures are not going to flood the market with inventory. Because remember, I always say that when this right here, inventory, goes from 1.8 months to 3 months, 6 months, then it'll be a buyer's market and prices will start coming down because there's going to be more supply, less demand. Then that's when we will start noticing maybe a correction, a crash. Okay. But if that's not going to happen, then I don't see it happening anytime soon, even with these amount of foreclosures hitting the market. And remember, this is nationwide. So like it's in the state. It's not just in a particular like it's not in like a particular area like or a county. It's throughout the United States. So yeah.
In the Northeast, the median existing home price was up over last year to $475,300. And in the Midwest, it was also up to $311,800. In the South, existing home prices were down just a little bit from last year to $366,600. And in the West, they were also down just a bit to $606,500. The report also found existing home inventory nationwide, including single family, townhomes, condos, and co-ops, was down more than 13.5% from last year.
Unfortunately, home prices are rebounding. Yes, there was a minor dip from June 2022 till February 2023. But since then, home prices have bounced back up. There are those who say home prices are still going to crash. They say that unemployment and maxed out credit cards are going to force people to sell their homes. But remember, if you can't make your mortgage payment on government loans, there's 12-month mortgage forbearance. And on conventional loans, up to 6 months. So they're not going anywhere. There's others who say it's going to come from Airbnb. Right now, we have about 1.5 million short-term rentals in the United States. We're short 5 million homes. Trust me, we welcome those homes on the market. So if you're sitting on the sidelines, I don't see a way home prices are going to come crashing down. I would run my numbers and
yeah, you heard it from him. That's why I've been telling a lot of people too. If you're waiting for the market to crash or come down in price, it's not going to happen, y'all. At least not anytime soon. So your best bet would be if you are still in the market, just find a market as soon as possible. So that way you can start making payments on it and reducing the balance. And then when interest rates go down in the future, refinance then. Or do a HELOC, like what he said earlier, and use that money to buy another investment property. I don't know. Get creative with it. Talk to your agent. But I think that is it for today, y'all. It was fun. A little bit over an hour. Hopefully you guys learned something today. Again, if you guys want to know more about the Cal HFA program, it's in the comments section of this video. So go ahead and click that link if you guys want to know more, because it's not going to get released until fall anyways. So we won't know anything else about that Dream for All program until then. But other than that, I'm going to let you guys all go. Happy Friday. Be safe. And if you know anybody that's looking to buy or sell, make sure they give me a holler. All right. Details down below. Peace out now.